This painting is just killing me. It's a very difficult painting to resolve. I started it pouring out and making these inexplicable gestures just in the spirit of the moment, and now I'm going back in and refining it. The painting is a sense impression of looking out the window and seeing the ships and the bright lights of the Bund every night. Intensity and artificial energy of Shanghai. I made an original black gesture and then I lined it with gold and then I went back with black because that's what Shanghai feels like to me, that the depth of the inky black of the water has the reflections of the buildings floating in them. And so there's this fusion, this combustible fusion of nature and artifice. When I first got here, you know, it was like when you fly in from the airport and you see the Pudong for the first time. How on earth do you make sense of that space? I couldn't even see it because it was so complex. And so I look at this view every day and night. I walk the Bund, and no matter where I go in Shanghai, it always comes back to that fusion that happens right there on the water. China has brought to me a sense of history and depth that I did not have before this trip, even though I've been to China before. It's brought me a whole new world of imagery that will take years to process. And it's brought me a richer understanding of what China is now. Now I also have a much better idea about how life is here on a daily basis. It's brought me a whole new way of looking and thinking about the world. All the buildings around the Bund, including the planters on the ground, look like plant forms, simplified plant forms, and that got me thinking about flowers. This painting began as a watery pour and stayed in that condition for a long time, but it needed more. And then it was a major decision to put buildings in there because it was such a cornball idea to paint Pudong. You know, everybody would do that. That's the first thing you're going to photograph, the Bund. Shanghai is the combination of old and new. And I know that sounds trite, but just to experience it is anything but trite.